Okay, here's an example of one of my watercolors of mixed media watercolor and marker. This is watercolor. This is supposed to be an example of the ocean and the sun. Here's,
What do you mean supposed to be?
well, everybody's interpretation is different of what do you see.
It's nuclear holocaust.
I see someone walking on water.
Oh, cool,
Maybe a sailboat. The sun is like a sailboat.
cool. And there's this new style of meditation that they do now of neuro design, where they draw these lines and they intersect them with that. And you can find that on YouTube.
Why do they call it neurodesign?
It's supposed to look like neural
Pathways?
pathways in your brain, but it's supposed to be meditative. We're just going to do a background and then we're going to do some flowers. Take one, pass it around.
So you need only
You
a
only
tiny,
need a dot.
yeah.
And then I have these are Japanese watercolors. There's metallic.
So do you have to like eat sushi when you're...
Yes, you have to eat sushi and it has to be metallic with metal in it.
Oh, so you're talking about mercury and all that.
Yeah. Oh, thanks. So, these are for making flowers. These are called cat tongue brushes. There's one for you. One for you.
Thank you.
I'm good.
You're
Good
good.
tomorrow.
Here tomorrow.
Well, I have some paper deckled and other paper. Is there a special reason why paper is deckled, like around the edges, like you were showing us?
What do you mean?
The paper you were showing us, you said it was nice paper and had like a
It was
rough
handmade paper.
That's handmade.
Yeah, that,
Yeah. Maybe I'll come back and see everybody's artwork
Cool.
another time. All right. Thank you, Angie.
Handmade paper. Yeah.
it's handmade paper if you want. If you don't want to do that big of a one, you could fold it in half and rip it, and then you could only do half of one. If you don't want to do such a big one. These aren't real wash brushes, but these are inexpensive wash brushes that I bought on the internet. They're just regular Craftsmark brushes. Did you ever do a wash? Yes.
Yeah, I do. Sometimes I dilute acrylic paint and I use it as a wash.
About you
Yeah.
tomorrow?
No.
Okay.
It's kind of good to start with a wash because there's all sorts of effects that happen.
Yes.
Size, yeah.
What you're gonna do is take the water, take your water and the paint and put a background on the paper.
Why are you choosing this?
Why did I choose it?
Yeah.
Well, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna work on one of these. Before I add color, I'm gonna just put
Yeah.
water down,
I understand, but why you choose this size of brush?
because I'm not gonna do the whole page. I'm only gonna do, a little bit of the page with this.
Okay, it doesn't mean that it's more soft or more hard.
Well, not really,
Not
no.
really,
No.
because this is softer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that only means that it probably holds more water that way.
Nice.
How'd you get that effect on top?
Oh, the watercolor or the pen and ink?
The bubble.
Yeah, it looks like bubbles. How'd you do
Oh,
that?
salt.
Salt.
Yeah, or you could drop once it's painted on, you just let it dry a little bit, you could drop water on top of it, and the drops make the
Do you have salt here?
Yes.
It's got salt.
you can put salt on it.
You
And,
got pepper?
no, pepper won't.
Maybe mustard?
This is,
For hot dogs.
so you see how the wash is, you blend it, kind of like let the colors flow together. And that's it.
Who can say where the road goes, where the day flows? Only time. And who can say if your love grows
the sky. Imagine all the people living for today. Imagine there's no countries. It isn't hard to do. Nothing to kill or die for, and no religion too. Imagine all the people living life in peace. You may say I'm the dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will be one.
All right, so we're gonna make 3 lists. And this is a brainstorm technique. And
Yeah. Okay.
So the first list we're gonna brainstorm is if you had 5 years to do whatever it is you could do in 5 years, what is the list that you would, just write whatever comes to mind that you would want to get done in 5 years. I'm gonna keep, like if you wanted to write a book, you could give yourself 5 years. If you wanted to, travel, could be almost anything. But I only give you 3 minutes to write down this brainstorming list.
All right,
And
ready?
just, yeah, sure. No editing, just let it flow. Okay, you all set?
Yes.
All right. Now, the next list we're going to do is going to be if you had 3 years, 2 years to get whatever it is you want to get done. Just, like empty your head of all those things that you've thought about that you wanted to get done over the, course of your life or whatever. But this is 2 years, so you're talking about your list is probably becoming a little bit more specific. And then again, I'm going to give you 3 minutes to get started on this one.
2 years.
Okay, Angie?
Yeah, I'm thinking. I know my head's smoking, but
Oh, that's what that is. All right, ready?
5 things?
Doesn't matter, just a list of as many things as you can think of in 2 years. All right, ready? Go for it. All right, now, one thing that we do at this point is out of your first two lists, pick 3 things on the 5-year list and 3 things on the 2-year list that rise to the top of what you really would like to get done. So it's kind of like, you have to choose like where your focus would be for the next 5 to 2 years. So you pick out of the list of, I mean, some people have lists that are, I don't know, maybe 7 or 8, but pick 3
Okay.
of those that you have on
That's
your
the
list.
top of the list.
Yeah, like A1, A2, A3, so that you have, yeah, like kind of zeroing in on what's the most important of the list that you have. Then we're gonna finish off with one more list. Mind if I sit down?
Yeah, good.
All right, now the last exercise is if you had 6 months left to work on any project that you want to get done, you know, what is the most, and you could use anything from the list of the 3 things that you have, or if it is something that you don't have on your list at all.
Is that 6 months to live, or just a 6-month goal?
Well, if you had 6 months to live, I guess that would be your 6-month goal.
Right. Well, to do a task within 6 months, but because that would change my priorities. If I had to do a task within 6 months, or if I had 6 months left to live.
Yeah, I don't think it really
Okay.
matters, you know.
No, it's very different when you have 6 months to live
It's-
and to when you think about what you do in 6 months.
Right.
Yeah?
Yeah, there's 2 different things.
Yeah,
If I have
it's
6
weird,
months to live,
yeah.
I'd be down south with my
Oh yeah, I'd be
grandchildren.
out of here, man.
Yeah.
I'd take all my money, liquidate it, boom, go to the beach somewhere.
I think I'd be
Preferably
reading a
another
very
country.
long, boring book.
I always wanted to read Dostoevsky before. So, okay, so I guess we'll amend this one, and if you had 6 months to get whatever it is you wanted to do, and then afterwards you died. I'm kidding, I'm playing off on what you, but if you had 6 months, what are the projects?
If you
that
had a project that had a deadline for 6 months.
A goal.
Well, don't use deadline, because we're not going there, right?
But a goal. Are you saying
Yeah.
a 6-month goal?
6-month goal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, I'll do both.
Wow, overachiever. So we got 3 minutes to do that one also. Whenever you want to get going. All right, so out of your list that you created, if there's any way you could take an image out of a magazine to kind of represent what it is that you have on your list, like say, you know, traveling to, you know, the South and the Pacific, you know, there's magazines, I'm sure, that have that. Any art-related pictures that are kind of like along the lines of what you want to create. If there's any images of, you know, a good body image that you'd like to have, and any representation on your list that you could find collages, then included on, and I brought these boards that are actually map boards, so if anybody wants to do one of, use one of these, Justin. These are good because they're a strong surface to work on.
I'm moving along right now, does that matter?
I'm good.
You could have another one if you want.
I'm gonna continue on this.
Want another one?
Oh, it's really nice.
Now,
I like those colors.
can they use like multimedia? Can they paint
Yeah.
also? Like,
Did you want one,
Collage.
Lisa?
Nah, I'm good. I'm gonna
Okay.
continue this, but I will talk about it.
Yeah, if you wanted to like write down your name, or if you wanted to write down in watercolor an image, or
Daddy. Daddy.
You know our love was meant to be the kind of love to last forever. And I want you here with me from tonight until the end of time. You should know everywhere I go, always on my mind, in my heart, in my soul. Baby, you're the meaning in my life. You're the inspiration. You bring
So what does it feel like? What does it feel like? So what does it feel like to erase everything in your head? What does it feel like to fall in love again? What does it feel
Okay, thanks everyone for coming. This is going to be a technique on a process I call photo transfer. Okay, it's been around a while. It's used in crafts. Not many people use it in fine art, but I've found it really useful for me because I don't know if you know the artist Rauschenberg, Robert Rauschenberg. He made a lot of work that combined photo and paint, and I've always been interested in that. So when I found out this technique that I could use a photo reproduction and use paint, I became really interested in it because you get the effect of a silk screen, but you don't need all the equipment. All right, so this is a technique that can be really versatile, especially if you're interested in photography, especially if you're interested in wood or canvas, mixed media. It's a great mixed media technique. So what I also like about it is that it can be a very soothing process. In other words, the process itself, once you, and I'll walk you through it, but once the image is bonded to the wood, okay, you don't know exactly what it's going to look like, so there's a sense of discovery as you rub the paper away. You find this image, is it going to be perfect? Is it going to be what you want? Is it going to come out the way you pictured it? So there's a sense of the unknown and a sense of discovery. And it's also about a perfect technique, and that's another thing, you know, it's important for us in recovery to learn that not everything is going to come out exactly the way we want all the time. So as much as you're an artist, as much as you want to be a perfectionist, as much as you want to have your vision, sometimes you have to go with it. You know, sometimes you have to change and move with the technique and what's possible. So that's why I chose this particular technique. So, so what now? Let's see. You can use it on wood. We're going to focus on wood, but it is possible to use it on canvas, and it is possible to use it on other materials, especially paper, like watercolor paper. Say you wanted to start with an image, you had an idea for a watercolor, and you want maybe someone's picture is looking through the watercolor. You can actually transfer the image onto the watercolor paper and still work on top of it. So you can combine it in a lot of different ways. John and I work with wood. So say you had a wood sculpture and you wanted to say put, you know, a sea image on the bottom of a boat to make it look like it's going through the wood. You could transfer that image to the wood and use it in your construction. So there's all kinds of ways to do it. Like I say, it's a versatile technique. So let's should we wait for canvas? Yeah, this is just a gift canvas if anyone wants to use it. These are for anyone to use. We're not going to use these big pieces. I've used it to make art before, and once we get involved with the making of it, there's a process where it has to dry before you can complete it. So I thought we'd work first on getting our pieces together. Then we take a little break while they dry. There's a hair dryer to speed the process along. And then while it's drying, I can go over some of my pieces to show you what's possible with this technique. Cool. While it's waiting.
Can I have a heart?
You want a heart?
Yeah.
Sure, absolutely.
Keep her a big heart.
Everybody got that. It doesn't.
Yeah. We have, again, we have canvas.
Yeah, can I put a canvas?
Yeah, sure.
Cool. I just want one.
You can cut it, sure. You might want to use a scissor. They're sharp. They're little sharp staples on there. Be careful with your.
Okay.
If you want a scissor, I don't know, Brian, is there a scissor? There's stars, circles, little like street signs. There's squares, clouds. There's a kind of cool thing with metal. And another art thing. And there's also these little coaster things, which can be fun. You can make multiple images. I did, let's see, might as well start. Yeah, might as well start.
No, I want to use the heart. I want to try
Use the heart? Sure.
Transfer.
Sure.
Oh, yeah, it's that one.
So here's how the process
Yeah,
works.
let's do this first.
All right, this is a sample of. It's not a flower. In other words, that's not real petals. This is an image of a flower. Okay, it's bonded to the wood. Okay, the image. What happens is when you coat, we're going to be using a matte medium, a Liquitex matte medium. You can also use Mod Podge, but Mod Podge it's a little different quality. It takes a while to dry, and it's a little harder. I don't know. I've never used Mod Podge, but I find this really great. It's Liquitex medium, and the Liquitex, the brand Liquitex is like top of the line. I would suggest spending a little money on it. This was what, about $36 about. And this is, you could use this for a long time. It also comes in smaller bottles, $16 or $18. So it's not too bad. But like I said, this is the photographic image. This isn't the flower. So what you're getting is an image bonded to the wood. It's not different than a regular collage. So since we're doing a collage class, I thought, why not try this technique since it's like collage once removed. All right, so the first step, does everybody have a wood piece?
Is there a square?
Yeah, more or less.
Yeah. Okay.
Tamara, you know, or a circle. You want that? Sure. Okay. All right, we'll need scissors actually. I forgot to mention that. Oh, great. Okay. So here's just the basic process. I'm gonna go through it. There's also these sayings. I noticed they're printed reverse because you're gonna be putting them on this right. Thank you. So let's try this. We'll need cups. Everybody will need a cup if you want to pass that around.
For water?
No, we'll be using this medium.
Oh.
And you'll need a brush. You'll need a craft brush. Just one of these sponge brushes. If you want to pass those around. Okay, I'm going to use the sample I prepared. This is like one of those cooking shows where they prepare the meal, then they put it aside. I don't know how it's all done, you know. So pretty much all I did here was I cut out the image. All right, I cut out the image. I put the medium using the brush, and you could use maybe you could probably work right on top of your board. You cut out your image, either the same on one of the flowers, okay, and we're just using flowers. I'd like you to just kind of learn about the technique, and you can take it back and use it in whatever way you want. These are just kind of samples for us to get kind of acquainted with the technique. Once you cut out your image, okay, with the brush, you're going to pour some medium into the dish, okay, and you're not going to wet the back. This is really important. You're not sealing it onto the board. What you're doing is you're sandwiching the image and the board, and you're putting it together. Okay, that's what this is. Okay, I put medium underneath, on the board and on top, and I sandwich the image. I'm not coating on the back of it because that'll seal it. That won't work. So this dried overnight. All right, we're obviously not going to set up sleeping bags, and wait for our things to dry.
Oh, come on.
Oh no, that'd be
You
another
order
class.
pizza.
Yeah, that'd be fun, right? That'd be fun. So you can do it probably with the help of a hairdryer in about a half hour. It'll be dry enough. Now, when you put your image, I should actually just do it.
What do you mean by you sandwich in between?
Yeah, I know it's
Okay.
confusing. I'm gonna try one. I'll show you, Jimmy. Say this is, and we'll all cut out our images. We're gonna choose whatever we want.
So we're looking at the back of the paper there on those piece
Yes,
of wood.
absolutely.
Okay.
So the
So
images
say-
have to be on white paper?
Oh, okay.
Well, the paper is gonna rub away. The paper won't show anymore. So if there's no image, the ink on the image is gonna be transferred to the wood directly.
Here's what I understand now.
Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna use some of this guy here.
So that makes it waterproof then too, if you're using the medium.
Yeah,
Okay.
sure.
That's good to know.
Hey, James. You're just in time for the demo.
Okay.
So once I have my wood, I have my image, I'm gonna pour a little medium into my dish. Just need a little bit. And then
So
grab my
Robert
spoon.
Rauschenberg used this technique?
He uses silk screen, but this is like a poor man's silk screen. In other words, you don't need the material of the screen or the exposure equipment. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put it on top. Generous, Right, I'm gonna hold it. And I'm gonna put medium on the wood. And Brian, if you want to take this is what it looks like. It's just a wood cutout and some photo image. And I'm gonna put it face down where I put the medium. And pretty much that's it. You want to run it with your finger, get all the bubbles out, because if there's bubbles, the image won't connect. Now it's going to get on your hands. Okay, I don't have gloves. It rubs away. It's not toxic. It's not a big deal, but it does get kind of messy. So now once it's on there, okay, I'll just do this one image. Here's an image. Here's a project where I did multiple images. Okay, so now you can see it's kind of getting a little dark in some areas. So it has to be pretty much completely white before you can start using the next part of the technique. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a little bit of speed it along a little bit. So here's what happens. Once it dries, you can see it gets all white.
That's cool.
See where it gets all white? So the next part of it, and this is the part that's kind of cool, it feels meditative in a way. Because once the best way to do it is to get it under the sink and actually wet the whole thing. And this way there's a spray setting that's better. It's going to get a little messy.
you sort of, you don't scrape it off, but you,
Yes, you rub it off. In other words, you
Yeah.
can feel it kind of coming off under your fingers. You don't want to rub it too hard because it'll take the image off. But see, once I'm doing it like this, I'm gonna see what's happening now. It comes off, and there's the image underneath. And now it's permanent, waterproof, and again, it's different than a regular collage because you're not actually gluing something. The ink is actually transferred to the wood. And it might take a couple of times, and these things get all over the place. Sometimes when it dries, it'll get like a cloud of film. That just means you have to do it again. So,
What's that, Jesse, cloudy film?
oh, the cloudy film is just the paper.
So you can get it all off?
You can get it all off, but again, it's not a perfect transfer technique. It's not like a photo, like inkjet on a wood thing or something. It's really like a craft technique, and the effect is part of it. The imperfect effect is part of the thing.
and as you're rubbing it off, some of it's gonna stay and some of it's gonna leave, right?
Well, the image itself should be pretty intact. If you rub too hard, the image will.
But that's, like the ones that you have on the wood, it kind of looks like, some of those don't totally transfer, that you're rubbing off some of the image, which is kind of cool.
Right. It gives it like an antique kind of aged feeling. So why don't you guys try this?
Maybe there's another place
Take my hand,